Making the invisible visible. Black women, 365 days of the year. Each day will spotlight a remarkable woman whose story has shaped Black, British or global diasporic history. Women whose achievements are too often overlooked. Through these daily short films, we create a living, breathing archive of leadership, creativity, resistance and legacy.
So my name is Danielle Bello. Loads of people know me as Dani. I find this question so interesting because the way that I work as a person is I like to be so curious about everyone else's lives and how they are and what can help them and where they've been and what their history is, that sometimes I feel I don't ask myself that question enough. So as a person, I'm an art therapist, that is my job title. However, the energy that I bring is this curiosity, a sense of play, a sense of like just pure energy, and everything I see is an energy, and I feel like I'm constantly evolving as a person. And that's the question I really want to take to my art materials. So after this conversation, I'll be making some art about who am I really, and that's today, because who I'm going to be tomorrow or next year or the month after will be a completely different question. So I feel like for me it's like truly me is someone who is caring, kind, who can move quite fast, but also needs time to slow down, who loves being around people, but also loves my own time and being in nature, and a person who's so curious about everything going on in the world and other people's worlds and how I can really help them feel seen and feel heard as well, whilst also taking care of myself. So I always say that like cliche thing of I'm an onion with so many layers. But I really am. I really am. There's a couple of things here. I feel one of the main ones is the person and moments that have really shifted and kind of really impacted me as a person. And the work that I do has been my grandma. She recently passed and she's always been about love. She taught me from a young age, we don't need politics, we don't need fights, we don't need wars, we just need love, and that's what rules the world. And as cringy and cliche as it sounds, it's so true. And she was a massive part of my roots, my heritage. She held space for so many people in church, and when she was a teacher as well in Jamaica, she like really inspired me so much. And I had the honor of being there when she passed. I was on my own, and that moment for myself made me see the world in such a different light in terms of like spiritually, and really understanding that like there's so much things we can do in the world, but there's also just not enough time to do them in. But another moment in my life that really changed my life was about 9 years ago. One of my really close friends was murdered, and that changed my life. I lost my sense of like ability to know where I wanted to go. I went down a really dark path, and at that moment in time I had to ask myself, because I was doing my university course in creative and therapeutic arts, and I had to ask myself, what am I doing and why am I doing it, and what is this a purpose, like is this something that I actually really want to do? And I ended up failing my second year because I really was not with it, and it took me a while to really think about what I want to do. And I realized I want to do what I'm doing. I want to be able to hold space creatively and support people. And so I was really ballsy and I decided to open up my own business, not knowing how to do it. Resat my second year, graduated my third year. A few years after going through the journey of a business, realised I wanted to be an art psychotherapist. Went to do that. I've passed all those years of being an art psychotherapist, didn't have to reset anything, and I felt so happy about that. And now I do what I do, and I feel like if it wasn't for that moment or those people in my life, I would not have really taken this seriously. I wish more people understood more about my identity, is like how my heritage has really shaped me as a mixed race female. I never really understood who I was or where I belonged, and how much art and having that space really helped me feel like home. And it's something I really want to bring more into more projects, and to work with more people that really want to understand their identity and a sense of belonging, and have a space that can just like support that really. You know, if you asked me this a few years ago, I'd answer it like that, and I'd be like, yeah, I do this, 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 and this, and this, and this. But I'm going to be real with you. As the years have gone on, I do the big things. I do, like, 9 years in business. Let's do a massive party. Oh, it's my birthday. Let's have a whole month of celebrations. But the small wins now, as of 9 years on, I don't, and I should. I definitely should. I do definitely make appointments for, like, when I have holistic therapies or have my own art therapist to give my sense of, like, mental health, a sense of, like, rest, and I do a lot of yoga. I'm out in nature and a lot of walks. But celebration is something that I think is something that I need to bring more into, and what that looks like as well for me, because that might look like Netflix and doing nothing, and that's okay. So thank you so much for these beautiful questions.
Thank you for joining us for today's story. Making the Invisible Visible is our commitment to ensuring that Black women's histories and contributions are recognised, valued and kept in daily circulation. Across 2026, we will continue to share these powerful narratives, 365 days of impact, brilliance and inspiration. Stay connected, join the conversation and help us champion the women whose journeys continue to shape our world. I'm Paulette Brooks, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for the next story.